Hello everyone and welcome back to the news for January 26th, 2015. H1Z1 has been released in early access. The game functions very much like DayZ. You scavenge and gather resources to build items and survive despite zombies and other players trying to murder you. It uses the same light forged tech that PlanetSide 2 and EverQuest Next utilizes, so the lighting and graphic fidelity is actually very nice, but many players were upset, citing that the developers promised it was not going to be a pay-to-win game in any way and have no microtransactions, and Sony Online Entertainment never actually said that there would be no microtransactions. The game uses the same station cash currency as its other games, letting players call in airdrops for items and equipment for around $5. Curiously enough, these airdrops are not permanent. When your character dies, you lose everything, and when you airdrop, anyone who tries to grab the items may do so. So spending the money doesn't necessarily help you in the long term, and if you die, you lost your investment. You can use premium currency to purchase other things, but this is the one that most people seem to be upset about. I'm not surprised at all for the backlash. Think of it this way. You're making a game designed to be a simulation of a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Survival is a struggle, and the only way to get ahead is to form a very shaky relationship with other players in the game. You can band together or betray one another. It's kind of a game genre that takes a lot of patience and dedication. Getting ahead takes a lot of time and effort, and when you die, you lose everything. Or you can just purchase premium currency and get free stuff without having to interact with any players, and just get buffed up by doing that over and over again. A survival game without survival is pretty dumb. So it's understandable if you're making a game that's going towards that DayZ audience that they would be a little bit upset of just taking out the main core mechanic of the game, which is struggling to survive and gathering resources with permadeath. That is still in the game, but paying money to skip those steps kinda defeats the exercise in my opinion. Sony did offer refunds to people who purchased the game in early access if they didn't feel that the game was worth their time because of the microtransactions. The game's also definitely early, so I wouldn't actually recommend getting into it now anyway. If you want a buggy zombie apocalypse game, just play DayZ. That game's not done either, and it's actually more complete. Not many games nowadays are hailed as too offensive for the general public, but the upcoming game Hatred has been lambasted by a lot of people for being just too violent. The game is a top-down isometric shooter, not very much unlike Renegade Ops, but instead of taking control of a soldier and killing a lot of enemy soldiers, he plays a very poorly written, angsty psychopath who wants to kill everyone he sees. And for 7 levels of gameplay, you do just that. Some call it an indiscriminate murder simulator. It has already been taken off Steam Greenlight by Valve back in December, but was quickly put back up because many were angry that Valve may have crossed the line into censorship. Keep in mind, censorship would be if the government banned the game, and merchants ultimately have the right whether or not to stock a product, but the criticism was still enough to get Valve to put the game back on Greenlight, which I agree was probably the best decision. The game was created using the Unreal Engine, and Epic Games requested that the Unreal logo be removed from the trailers and promotional material for the game. The Polish developers have been accused of being neo-Nazis and fascists, which has since been debunked several times over. The developers stated that they simply wanted to make a game that spat on political correctness, colorfulness, and the idea of games as an art form. They sought to create a game that reached back to video games as being a medium of a rebellion and sought not to insert any sort of heavy-handed philosophy. The reaction the game has garnered looks to be mostly negative, but the developers insist that they also have gotten a lot of feedback that has been positive. It's often said that any publicity is good publicity, and if the game wasn't attacked by the warriors of political correctness, it may have gone unnoticed altogether. Hatred has now been given an ESRB rating of adults only, and is in the company of games such as Manhunt 2, Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, and a laundry list of pornographic games that mainly originate from Japan. It's hard to know for sure whether this will hurt its sales alone, especially since digital distribution is king, and developers no longer have to worry about whether or not Walmart stocks it on the shelves. Hatred is scheduled to release this spring. Microsoft held its Windows 10 press event last week, which was meant to show off for the first time some of the features and future plans for the new operating system. A quick list of things include Windows 10 being a free upgrade from users of Windows 7 and 8, a new start menu that is a balance between the Windows 7 start menu and the horrid atrocity against mankind that was the Metro screen for Windows 8, the integration of Cortana, Microsoft's version of Siri, into the OS. It also has cross-platform applications between Windows 10 desktop and Windows 10 mobile devices, utilizing OneDrive to transfer files over the web. A new browser is going to be included, which is called Project Spartan. It's supposed to be able to take on Google Chrome, which is actually what they said about the last iteration of Internet Explorer, so I really don't believe them. Okay, you're thinking, what's up with games? Well, Xbox One will have an app that will allow you to use different social functions on Xbox Live. You'll even be able to use the Xbox Game DVR feature to capture clips from non-Xbox games on your PC and share them over Xbox Live. But you may also stream games directly from the Xbox One to your PC via Windows 10. They claim it will have no apparent lag, but no technical details have been released. If it is simply streaming to your PC, however, it will still run the game on Xbox One hardware, so it won't be taking advantage of your PC in any way to improve performance. So to me, it's not too special of a feature. But the big announcement was Windows Holographic and the HoloLens augmented reality headset, a wearable piece of headgear that has translucent lenses, which overlays computer graphics directly onto the real-world environment in front of you. The introductory trailer shows uses for it in the workplace, as well as gaming, including your hands instead of a controller to create graphics and manipulate computer menus that apparently float in the air in front of you. One example is a guy playing Minecraft by simply poking at the blocks in midair, and the whole scene was overlaid into his living room. It seems like a cool idea, but for me, I would have to actually see the product in action to actually purchase one. I would say that I'm equally skeptic about this as how I felt about the Kinect when it was first revealed. The Kinect only ended up having a few really great games that really utilized what it could do and avoided what it could not do. There's not really much out there letting us know right now whether or not HoloLens will meet the same fate when it comes to gaming, but I don't think it's something you can dismiss right away. Microsoft has also announced that they partnered with the Jet Propulsion Lab to allow scientists to place themselves on Mars and work and look around using photographs and images taken by the rovers. It's pretty darn cool. But as for consumer uses, I hope Microsoft has seen the amazing community of hardware hackers who made use of Kinect in all sorts of wonderful ways, and that they promote the new hardware as an open source, publicly programmable piece of technology, which will actually take it above and beyond what they ever planned for it to be used for. Microsoft created the Kinect to make a more realistic interactive gaming experience that barely worked, and people took it and made actual flying drones, 3D cameras for robots, and all sorts of crazy crap. So I hope they actually make it easy for people to get down into the hardware layer, into the software, and actually make their own things with this technology. And all signs point they are going to go that direction simply because the first version of Kinect had a very specific kind of port that couldn't be used on anything, and the new version of Kinect actually has a USB port which you can just plug into any computer. So it seems like they want to go that way, and I really do think that to really push this technology further, you need other people playing around with it, not just engineers at Microsoft who want to sell a product. But anyway, as always, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.